graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
This is an alert from Central Dispatch. Major disturbance reported.
You're listening to the BNC Show on the Great House Podcast.
Welcome back. Appreciate everybody tuning into the first week. We haven't got banned or kicked off, or no accounts have been suspended.
Actually got the release papers from that Venezuelan prison. So
how'd that go? How much did they end up making down there? You ended up making like 72 cents for the 2 years you were locked up?
Through the bank transactions and the flip charges and all, what I call flip charges, I think it was probably about 52 cents. Beautiful country, though. Fantastic prisons.
Now, you owed 52 cents, right?
Negative. They actually paid me. I got strip searched like one too many times, so they gave me what is equivalent to $80 and an iguana. So it was 52 cents. I didn't want the iguana. I don't have room, and they have such big iguanas down there.
You know, if it wasn't 7:30 in the morning, I would have a drink.
So we got a special call in today from Oso Boots. They're going to be doing an interview with us about the upcoming skate park in the area. B set that up. What do you got? What kind of background information can you provide about those guys?
A great friend of mine, Jake Sullivan, actually put me in touch with that. He's been on the Facebook lately, and I have to support that. He's a fantastic skater, and like I said, a great friend of mine, so I have to support that. He put me in touch with the gentleman that's running it. And like C said, we'll be interviewing him later just to gain some info. They had a show last night, which obviously went really well. Raffles, there were skateboards getting given away, tattoo shops there advertising. I'm sure there was beer. So I think it's fantastic, for more reasons than that. But I'm glad these guys are making an effort.
Jam-packed show today. We got skate park interview, this week in history, NBA final, Western Eastern Conference Finals going down. Plenty to talk about. Jam-filled show. You're listening to the BNC Show. We'll be back in 10 seconds.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Right now, we listening to the BNC Show on the Great House broadcast.
It's the greatest show of all time.
Beating heart, baby.
This week, we have Oso Boots founder calling in. They're going to be talking about a skate park project that they have going on. They've been doing some fundraisers in the area, try to give the kids and really anybody a place to go and skate.
Right. He mentioned 9-to-5ers. If you just want to come and release energy and just do your thing, you can do it. Also, they're coming from Wilmington. So they're definitely trying to make a move in this city as well. So
always covering local events, world events, athletics of all types. Right now, it's the Eastern and Western Conference NBA Finals. Congratulations to Miami and Indianapolis.
How's
in the
that
East. I don't know. The game is going on right now. Actually, we'll have to
peep that out later.
Have to see what's going on. And then in the West, the old man time, San Antonio, still around. And then a team that I cannot follow or support, the Oklahoma City Thunder, formerly of Seattle. I see you, Sean Kemp. I see you.
You brought up the old shit.
Gary Payton, pass me the ball. NBA Jam on you.
Give it to me, Gary Payton.
Boom, shaka
Gary
laka.
Payton to Sean Kemp.
He's on fire. No, now I want to play
Albert's.
I want to play NBA Jam now. Somebody hook up a Sega Genesis.
Oh boy, do it with the. Can I get a Game Genie on a Nintendo?
Oh man,
who remembers that?
Game Genie.
Call in.
Wow.
The Game Genie gave you every cheat code ever. It was like. Let's say the Google of the time.
Oh man.
Everybody looks up cheat codes now. Yeah, but I had a fucking device that gave it to me. Commando, instant, like forever life, and all had all the ammo I wanted.
I'm not an actor, I'm a movie star!
You're listening to the BNC Show on the Great House Podcast. We'll be back in 10 seconds.
Badges? We ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
Me and Molly have been geeking out on, what is it, River Monsters?
Yes.
River Monsters. If you hadn't seen this, you got to check it out.
I agree. I love that show. But definitely heard stories about if you're passing by a tree and you rest your hand on it and you touch it, just that small section may be covered by hundreds of of caterpillars, and
they're spiky and they make you itch like hell, right? Those same guys, poisonous.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. Cool story leading into that. Gonna get your palate wet to check it out. Is
thank you so much.
They did I don't know where he was in the Amazon, but he found some tribe that had come up with.
This is the river monster guy.
The river monster guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he was somewhere in the Amazon. This tribe had come up with immunization for electric eel bites. It was electric eels or was it stingrays? I think it was stingrays. It was whatever can kill you.
But okay.
I think either stingrays or the eels.
Both of them can kill you. Okay, so the eel will just burn the shit out of you, and a stingray actually pierces you with some sort of...
so it wasn't the eel. Now I can see it in my head. It was the eel.
Okay, fantastic.
So anyway, long story short, the shaman of the village came up with this concoction, and I guess it's been passed down for generations. It was some type of frog enzyme. I don't know how they extract it. But what they would do is they would slice the warrior's arm up, or the fisherman, or the him, the hunter, and they'd smear this enzyme in there. But it's a toxin, so obviously the guy would get violently sick. He would throw up for a good hour or two. But then
he's representing the whole community,
right? So because this eel is what they eat. It's a delicacy, apparently.
I love eel. I've had eel in sushi, and it just appeals to me.
So it's good.
To me, it's good. I mean, if I had to prefer a sushi, so you get sushi wrapped up with cucumber, or you can get lobster or whatever. Lobster's great and all that. But
I love shellfish.
Typically raw. So the eel, I just I feel, and hopefully it's a body thing. I don't eat sushi every day or anything.
No, you can't. I don't think
when
you can.
eat it, I prefer
eel. Huh?
Eel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, just to wrap this up, what they did is they went hunting after the hunter recovered, and they brought a pregnant female down to the bank.
Really?
And that is apparently, I guess, the pheromones. The eels pick up on the pheromones.
See, there you go again.
I don't have any idea.
The females aren't doctors. They're just...
Oh, they're just tools of hunting?
Yes.
No, not at all. Not at all. So the eels come up, and this guy that had the toxin thing done to him...
The guy that was throwing up hours before.
Picked this... I mean, this eel must have been 4 feet long. And you could see, like, the little eel shaking and trying to shock the shit out of this hunter.
I've seen footage of when they shock in the water and the entire, like, surface of the water
they'll kill
vibrating.
You. Oh, yeah, they'll kill you.
Holy cow. So this guy's immune to that.
And he's holding it from that toxin they gave him. He's holding it in his hands, like, smiling. And they took that thing up, and the whole village had a big old fucking dinner that night, I'll tell you that.
Well, so you've heard it here first on the B&C show.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back 10 seconds, the B&C show.
Here, let me show you. Hand out the free cigarettes.
We smoke as we shoot the bird.
Hurry it up. We're burning daylight.
You're listening to the B&C show on the Great House Podcast.
Welcome to the B&C show. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're doing great. See?
Thanks for coming in and telling us about the cause. So just give us a little background information. A lot of the viewers will be the first time they've ever heard about it.
Yeah, so my name's Brae. I'm a business partner. Philip Gripper and I have started a company called Oso MFG. Within the last year, we started designing and prototyping aggressive inline skates, and from there, recently within the last year, one year anniversary, we came upon some excellent ramps that were in Hickory, North Carolina, and we've decided to relocate not only our manufacturing facility, but bring in a really awesome professional level skate park for Charlotte. So the youth and adults have somewhere to train, and everybody has somewhere to go for special events like that. And so we're having another skate park fundraiser. It's going to have the Bloodworth Project playing on Monday, May 26th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Dilworth Neighborhood Grill.
Hey, that's great. Do you guys have an official site that listeners can go and get some more information about your project?
Yeah, so we have our site, which is called osoboots.com. It is OSOBOOTS.com,
Okay.
Oso Boots.
Awesome.
And that'll link you to what we're doing now with our skates, as well as what we're going to be doing with the skate park very soon. And also that'll link you to our Indiegogo webpage, which we're having our fundraiser on there as well. So everything's linked together, and we're just out in Charlotte. We're ready to do this.
Well, fantastic. When are we planning on doing this? I got a little insight from my friend Jake, but when would this possibly show up in Charlotte?
So we're planning on moving the ramps into Charlotte at the end of May. So around the 31st and 1st of June, we're talking about relocating it into Charlotte. And the area that we're planning on moving it into, which we'll be updating on the website very shortly, is going to be in between Uptown and Plaza Midwood area. Okay. So we're going to be attacking like a really good demographic for a lot of people to come and see the sport. And, it's really easy, accessible to public transportation, and a lot of different people could come and, come skate or even just watch. Coming from Wilmington, North Carolina, we had an excellent skate park down there, Eastwood Ramp Park, which was created by Dave Mira. And they started a really good program down there, and just being really young, starting skating at like 15, and now I'm 29. I've never stopped, and it's been great for my health. Not only like as meeting other people that really enjoy doing what I do as well. It's really good to see the youth and adults interact in the sport that they can kind of all share, and it's not only awesome but funny in the same sense that sometimes you have kids that are way younger than you teaching you how to do tricks.
Right.
Which is awesome. It's a good community because it doesn't matter how old you are. They're all great sports. BMX, skateboarding, inline, we all share the same ramps. We might do something different, but there's other people out there that share the same things that we love to do.
Awesome. Well, I really do appreciate the call, and we certainly appreciate your time.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it.
Just want to thank you for coming on the show. Greatly appreciate it. For the listeners, for more information, check out Oso Boots, O-S-O Boots, BOOTS.com. That's Oso, O-S-O for more information. Appreciate you coming on, man. Good luck with your future endeavors with the project.
You're listening to the BNC Show on the Great House Podcast.
I think it can really make you happy again.
Well, what do I do?
It's very simple. We just need $240.
You is a lazy bastard, ain't you? You just looking to get out the easy way.
Well, it's week 2. I hope everybody's been enjoying themselves and having a safe and happy few days. I mean, I don't know. That was kind of a bad intro. Usually it's like
that was cool.
You would usually use something like that in the holidays or something like that.
Well,
hope you have a Merry Christmas.
That's the thing. That's what I thought you were going to. But the future is Memorial Day. We're going to air this right before Memorial Day, and again, big ups to everybody who did their thing. But I think that's what C was going for, and I know a lot of people are traveling, and we definitely want them to be safe and secure. Enjoy your time with your loved ones and your friends, and
don't smoke in the car on the way up there.
Don't smoke unless you're in I don't know if you can even smoke in Denver. If we can get somebody to call in from Colorado.
Well, I don't know about Colorado, but what all my buddies in Washington are telling me is they're just treating it like alcohol, which I think is
so.
Fantastic.
If you are smoking, you get some sort of DUI.
I guess it's kind of
they're going to have to snake around it. I mean, they're not going to just let it go.
Yeah.
Although I do hear they're letting people go from certain penitentiaries and things like that for those type of charges.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the particular instances are, I don't know. But I heard that for the marijuana charge, I'm sure it's a lighter charge. They let you go at this point.
Some of the more famous growers that got in trouble. Some of these bigger companies that have money behind them, what they're having these growers do is if they come grow for these big companies that are pumping this stuff out, they'll get their former charges expunged. And these growers are making $100K.
Really?
Yeah, and that's inside information. That is accurate information from Washington State.
Well, all right. So there's a business in
no doubt
these
about
things expunged.
No doubt about it. Marlboro will be the first company you see pump this stuff. But it's just a matter of time. I can't give you like a timeline of when this will be legal in the country.
I have to have a timeline. See,
I mean, it'll be within the decade
to form
for sure.
A business in my mind right now while we're talking.
Oh, a lot of stuff. Pot bakeries.
Right, you can put it in ice cream, candy bars.
A lot of stuff is popping up, and it's great for medicine too. I mean,
hair oil.
This isn't just about recreational and freedom of choice. There's a lot of medicinal purposes and practices for the oils, and they're not like letting these kids, these cancer kids, smoke pot. They're not, the cancer kids aren't in the hospital room hitting the bong. I promise you. And they put it in edibles and stuff like that,
Right.
and it's really helping these kids. You know,
Well, at this point, I mean, they're not giving us any answers for the cancers. We might as well try, things that we know.
Oh, yeah.
Just from this earth. I mean, not to be a big drug head or anything
it
crazy.
makes me a little mad though.
Right.
Because
it would, yeah. It's from the earth. It grows from a seed.
From Mother Nature.
No fucking white suit motherfuckers divvying the shit up. And
There's no
putting it
anal
in
leakage
some
side
capsule.
effect from this stuff.
Yeah, there's no anal leakage.
You know. And what upsets me is I had a personal experience to where when I was 16, this is obviously almost 2 decades ago almost. I got scoped. They found multiple ulcers, and they gave me Prefacid and they gave me Nexium and all these different things. And all these things did is
shit
just,
that costs money. That goes straight to the government and the healthcare system.
It doesn't heal. It doesn't heal the ulcer. All it does is provide you temporary relief for the nausea and the other things that you're experiencing from having ulcers.
Right. So they're clouding the situation.
They don't want to fix it.
it.
They don't want to fix
it.
it. The money is in. The money is in the treatment, right? Not the remedy. I forget what the saying is, but my old man did some research and he's like, try glutamine, because in Germany, obviously Germany's cutting edge for medical. There's high top tier American athletes when they need something done, they go to Germany to get stuff done.
Also, the soldiers and warriors that went to Iraq, if they had a serious wound, they were flown right to Germany.
Oh, I believe it.
Them blown up, woke up in Germany. So to concur with the situation.
Oh yeah, Germany is cutting edge medical, and and to be honest with you, we'll get into the darker side of that on a later date. But long story short, the glutamine, which is an amino acid, healed my ulcers. Now, obviously, I have ulcers. Once you start getting them, you're always going to get them. Right. So that's something. But with glutamine, there's no side effects. It's just an amino acid. There's no problems. There's no prescription needed.
Right. I've seen them. It's almost like they have powder form, right? And they have like a gummy chewy.
Yeah, and it's not expensive, but nobody knows about it.
Yeah. Visit
nobody
your GNC
knows about it.
Store. Visit. These powders and these formulas that are they seem as if they're steroids or some crazy shit like that. Just because healthy people take them and they're actually able to lift, 450 pounds on like a chest, people think he's all of a sudden using steroids. No, he's using supplements to enhance his body to increase that. It's not a negative thing. It's not just that type of human needs more than just like chicken and rice.
And then Burger King and Diet Coke.
And now a word from your sponsor.
Welcome to Privacy Farms.
I was feeling that.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, go somewhere with that.
Welcome to Privacy Farms, where your health care is our most immediate concern. Take Janice, for example. Janice, how was your day today? Well, I didn't get my milk.
My medical records have been released via the internet, and it has really hurt my chances of gaining occupation.
Well, at Privacy Farms, I feel great, but I get whooped up a lot by the people.
It's hard dealing with your old ass parents. Ship them down here to Privacy Farms.
Privacy Farms.
Privacy Farms.
We have water fountains out front.
We don't publicly beat our patients, but we will.
There's nothing on the paperwork that states that we beat anybody.
Privacy Farms denies any actions of physical abuse.
Yeah. Privacy Farms.
This is
Privacy Farms.
Privacy Farms.
Don't you ever fuck with the best corner in the game. Who's talking now? Crabtree. Don't you ever fuck with the best corner in the game. All right?
You're listening to the BNC Show on the Great House Podcast.
This will not look good on a resume!
Welcome back to $7 an hour workers.
Oh, and the thing that drives me crazy, but I see people, the whole minimum wage thing's going on, right? The whole.
Is it going up?
Is it going down? Well, that's the thing. I guess it's up to each state government, really.
Can Obama like govern that or what?
I don't know. I mean, I think the federal is $7.25. I think.
Right. I mean,
and that's what it is
that's
in this
here,
state.
Right? I was about to say Cali's like $9.
I think it's $9. It was when I was in Seattle. It was $9 and something.
Right. Ontario gets free dental and shit.
Just be careful. I see a lot of people taking shots at fast food workers, and being like, "Oh, well, they don't deserve a raise" and stuff like that. And the people that are taking these shots at McDonald's workers are people that are broke too. That are people that are working at Best Buy, or they're working at, wherever. And to be honest with you, you're pretty much in the same boat.
I was about to say, your average person is not really. I mean, just the last segment I talked about a speeding ticket. I mean, that has an effect. I don't have 10 G's in the bank. I wish I did.
No.
I mean, I would probably be in Maui right now. But
I mean, if the minimum wage went up to $13 an hour or something, it wouldn't just be for the guys at McDonald's. It would be for everybody.
Right. You never stop rolling, kids, because you might catch something cool.
Back in the day, it used to cost money to roll tape. I mean, I caught the end of DAT tapes, and DAT tapes were expensive. They were fucking expensive.
And just studio time in general, holy crap.
Oh, yeah, and you had to sync them, so anytime you were doing an overdub. I mean, overdubbing now is just as quick as you can hit the space bar and hit space bar again. But now, I mean, back in the day when I would say 10, 15 years ago, you were still dealing with DAT tapes, and you had to sync them up. And I mean, from the time that we would hit stop and sync the tapes back up and get ready to roll again, it would be 20, 25 seconds, easy.
I mean, it's like it's rewinding, catching up, like finding the exact right spot.
And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but do that 1,000 times.
Well, just imagine the guy sneeze after you synced it. Now you got to sync it again.
And now, This Week in Human History.
Speaking of This Week in History, I just want to throw in that it's Alan Shepard. That's the first American hit space. Went ahead and looked that up on the interweb.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a like an errors and omissions segment to where we're always we're a week behind in the shows, but then we're 2 weeks behind in the fixes.
Exactly, and the funny part is that's something that's 40 years old. We should have known it. We probably did know it. We just I
don't know. I mean, like you said, there's been so many achievements.
Right.
One guy orbited one guy reached
one guy farted
the stratosphere.
Who was the first guy that took a piss in
First
space?
guy to throw up, in the space-time continuum.
Right.
Yeah.
So, big ups to space and and all the trials and error of doing that.
I got a lot of hateful emails about me making that comment about females. About
really?
How you need females, and you were like, well, girls can be doctors. So now I'm like a woman hater.
It's my fault.
No, it's not your fault. I'm getting.
You actually said everything right. I just antagonized the the actual listening audience, all 12 of you. Thanks. But yeah, just antagonize them to just kind of hate on you a little bit. Yeah, women can be doctors. Women,
right? Women can be doctors, and I apologize for any miscommunication on that manner.
Well, you got good-looking dreads, so we'll let that go.
All right, this week in history.
This week.
Got a bunch of cool stuff. In 1520. Cortes, the very famous conquistador.
He's the one that was looking for possibly everything on Earth. Yeah, he was like a Genghis Khan of that era.
Yeah, if you will. He won a very, very pristine and huge battle in Mexico City.
Really?
And a lot of people, I'm not sure if they're familiar with the story, but the Cortes story is it almost has like an omen kind of effect to it. Basically what happened is there was a very, very famous Maya legend of an individual named Quetzalcoatl, which translates into the feathered serpent.
Ooh, bringing up the old shit.
The background story with him is he was pale-skinned and long-haired and had a beard, and he was a philosopher and a shaman, and he was very enlightened, very ahead of his time. Long story short, he was banished from a city, exiled. It was the story, there's the different versions of the story, but long story short, he vowed to return. And at the time, human sacrifice was becoming more and more of a practice.
Really?
And that the legend goes that Quetzalcoatl warned the Maya tribes that if they had adopted human sacrifice, that when he would return, he would bring back with him the end.
So he was against it.
He was against it.
Okay, good.
The Maya were 13 families. Now the Aztecs were extremely, extremely big into human sacrifice, but it was more of war captives. When they would go to war, they would just injure you to bring you back.
They were in like similar geographic areas,
same exact
right?
areas.
So somehow good. Because the legend of the Mayan is that they just disappeared. Yeah, so.
But long story short, just ending this, when Cortes showed up, he was wearing gold armor. He was on a horse. The Aztec have never seen horses. The horses were not native to North America at the time.
No, of course not.
And he also held a cross. Now, to the Aztecs and to the Maya, the cross was a symbol for the world tree, which the world tree was the galaxy.
Nice.
So here Cortes shows up looking like Quetzalcoatl, pale-skinned, long-haired, bearded, on horses and golden armor. I mean, this is fucking Cortes, the leader of the fucking Spanish, Armada.
He's a big deal. You all have heard that in El Dorado and all that shit.
Man.
So,
and Cortes got wind of this. When Cortes showed up, they treated him like the return of a Messiah.
And he accepted.
And Cortes,
he was ready for it.
Cortes was a slimy ass bastard. He basically went back to Spain and said, "Listen, they think I'm a god. I can clean up." Because at the time, Teotihuacan and all these other major Aztec cities were housing more people than Europe. The population was higher in the Aztec Empire than it was in Europe.
Something definitely sacred about the Yucatan and the Central Americas.
Their knowledge of astronomy is scary.
I mean, it goes back to the Atlantis and that situation. Those even the Mayan culture, Atlantis, they both were said to have like doctors that used lasers and flying machines and things like that. So it's something interesting. We know where we're at right now in history, but we don't know where we were back then because all that's certainly disappeared.
There's pyramids and temples all over the world.
Underwater.
Huge.
On Mars, they line up with Orion.
That's what I don't get.
Things like that.
That's a great point. I don't understand the correlation because all the main, I think they're in Giza, or I don't want to pronounce it incorrectly, but the three major pyramids in Egypt line up with Orion.
Right.
There's some of the Maya temples that line up with Orion. What is the correlation? I don't know.
We don't know. I mean, obviously, and that's a funny point too. I mean, I know we're going back into history again, but just a side point. If you guys didn't notice, they really were very studious back in the day, especially with astronomy. That took over a major portion of the day. Guys gave up their entire lives and their sons' lives and maybe their cousins' lives just to, and not killing them, but just studying the astrological just nature of everything. Why are the stars there? What do they line up with? Is it, it obviously has effect. If the moon creates tides, guess what Orion does? What's next?
1804, Lewis and Clark expedition leaves Missouri.
Fantastic. Those guys, they actually did the whole western part of, and as I told you earlier, they, encountered bears and, whatever.
Took them 2 years to accomplish that voyage. That is epic.
That's epic. I mean, that's straight. They're camping every night.
Me and you,
for 2 years.
We got to Arizona in 36 hours.
Yes.
And that took a couple years off our life. We went from Charlotte, North Carolina to Yuma, Arizona. We did it in 37 hours.
Nonstop.
And there was a moment in, I want to say Arkansas or Texas. It was somewhere.
Could have been Gallup, New Mexico. We don't know.
It definitely wasn't that far. It was about halfway, maybe 3/4 the way. And what me and B did is, the deal was we would get gas, fill it up. One guy would drive until we were empty or had to get gas again, and then we'd take turns. And, the first day we're fine.
It's good in theory, I was about to say.
It looked good on paper until it got to about, I don't know,
2 or 3 times driving.
5 in the morning, 6 in the morning the next day. And I had probably a quarter of a tank, maybe more. And I knew I couldn't drive anymore, so I pulled over at, the gas station I found and put gas in the truck so he wouldn't know that I fucked him and, pulled over early, Because I pulled over early.
Quite all right. I accepted, didn't I?
And I'll never forget this. I looked over and I go, listen, we're in blah blah blah, like wherever bumfuck Egypt we were. It's
the
5 a.m.
gas station that you saw.
Yeah, exactly. Like
you probably weren't even sure. You had a quarter tank left, and you didn't even know if you were going to see a gas station.
I say it's 5 a.m. We're at blah blah blah. We can stop here for a little bit. or we, whatever. And you were like, oh, fuck, we ain't stopping. And I'm like, all right. So I pass out immediately.
Yeah.
A couple hours later, I wake up, look over you, and you're like, an inch away from the steering wheel, and your eyes are a fourth the way open. I'm like, I can drive again. You're like, for real? You pull up a quick step? Well, we made it, man.
Hey.
But long story short, the point I'm trying to make is it took years off our life to travel from Charlotte to Yuma in a truck. Can you imagine doing it on foot?
If you've done that, please chime in. I mean, via email or whatever, because that is a long journey. And I understand that. Interesting enough, there's an actual race that goes down. It's not a race.
Really?
There's a race.
That's
though.
awesome. I would love to compete in that, but you're
from
losing
coast
life.
to coast.
You're losing life. If you commit to that race, you're going to lose a couple years off your life.
We're going to have to look up the name, but there's a particular race that who can do it the fastest. You basically chart in that you're about to do it, and you go coast to coast. And I'm talking about these guys do like 150. They get special cars for this. And they have like scouts for cops and things like this. Yeah, this is a real big deal. And
holy hell.
Yeah. So, but just knowing that we did it, I mean, Google Maps or MapQuest or whatever the fuck we used back in the day said 32 hours. I was like, no way.
If you ever have the privilege to travel and see the United States change colors and the landscape
it's fantastic,
change,
right?
It has an effect on you, because I mean, if you get in a plane and you fly across country, you just get jet lag. You don't gain anything from it.
Especially if you don't get the windows.
No, but to see the landscape physically change, because it goes from, I mean, I don't know where our listeners are, but we're based out of the eastern seaboard, North Carolina. So it goes from green and blue to red to Mars
to
red.
multiple colors.
Oh,
multiple
man.
colors, sand dunes, even the infrastructures that man built, like bridges. You remember bridges out there had designs on them?
Yeah, I-40 is a great route.
They don't have shit like that around here, and I'm kind of pissed at that, actually. I mean, there's like no culture where we're at right now.
Memphis had a gorgeous skyline. I mean, we just took I-40. I-40 is a great route.
I was about to say, don't you remember Memphis? We got lost. We had to ask that police that one time.
And I got
where to go.
It's like this. Clover leaves. And you're looking at the time GPS hadn't. I mean, this was.
No, we were looking at
years
Atlas.
ago.
This was a big book that I bought for $12.
Yeah.
And you turned the page when you went to the next state.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And you marked certain cities and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully, there was nothing. There was nothing, man. I feel like, I mean, speaking of Lois Clark, I mean, now it's easy. I travel every day via GPS, and it's so easy. I just follow a dot.
In 15 feet,
you
turn
had to
left.
think. I remember like praising every street sign because I had gotten lost so many times along this journey. I did this journey about 5-6 times.
Yeah, you did.
And just the street sign. If it told me I was on I-40,
yeah,
and they do that like every mile,
yeah,
I gave it a little cheer.
You're like, yes, I'm still going the right direction.
On this mother, because you
had lost 2 hours.
Yeah, I was about to say you lose 2 hours because you're like, where the hell am I, man? There's like dogs passing me and cows in the road dead.
10 years ago, it cost us $500 to get from Charlotte to Yuma. Gas, Gatorade, and I think we ate Taco Bell once, and we were eating beef jerky and Gatorade. That's pretty much what we were on.
Truck was full.
Yeah, the truck was full.
What'd you have?
As full as ever. I had the same Explorer we talked about last week. We had.
Exactly.
Yeah. Had that thing full up with every piece of gear we had. If we would have popped a tire, it would have took us an hour to get to it.
That's funny because I told my dad that I was flying, so that's a little fib that I told him. I remember.
Didn't I pick you up from the airport or something like that?
Yeah, he dropped me off. Yeah, it was kind of atrocious, but
sketchy as hell looking back.
No, it is what it
is. But we were 20, man. 20, we're out of control.
You're trying to take over the world.
We're out of control,
and
man.
a journey across the U.S. for anybody. Anybody wants to do that. Okay, it's easy to fly to California. Yeah, you pay $500, you get on a plane for 4 hours, but for real, navigate the I know I-40 goes all the way across, but guess what? It used to be Route 66, so it's still a little confusing. Trust me, when you walk into the border, if you've ever been to Mexico, I don't think I'm talking about Cozumel.
I think it's different
Cancun.
Now. But before all the 9/11 shit hit, this is what he's saying is very true.
But even just stay away from like the huge vacation spots. I mean, border towns themselves have a real kind of like a bad rep. But because they'll charge more for beers. But I'm telling you, man, shit is dirt cheap, and like you cross the border, and guys are shouting to you about prescription medication.
We would park in United States territory, walk into Mexico,
walk across.
They don't even pat you down or anything.
Care.
Now this was 10 years ago, so
right,
I mean,
no
policies,
passports. Yeah, they pat you down when you come back, or they at least talk to you.
They talk. They just say hello. They can. They
can
if they choose to, or
right.
that was told to me. But like B was saying, you would walk.
You didn't have dreadlocks
back
then.
Well, that's true.
And you probably wore some.
I don't remember. I really don't.
Marine
My
attire.
hair was short.
It was short.
My hair was short when I was 20.
And mine was really short.
I cut it for. I was with this girl in high school, and she was like, you need to cut your hair. You need to cut your hair. And I'm like, all right. So I cut my hair. I come home one day. I'm like, Dad, you got to cut my hair. And he's like, well, why? I'm like, I got to sacrifice. I'm 20, man. I'm in shaman mode, dude.
You're just like,
I'm 20, dude.
Right? I want it. I love, man, 20, man.
Oh, God. That's like you're as bright as you're ever going to be, or as bold.
That's why the Cougars go for them.
Oh, my God. So anyway, long story short, we cut my hair, and the first time we get into an argument, I didn't tell you to cut your hair. I'm like, oh, okay.
I remember I came back and seen you in a do-rag, and I was like, why the fuck are you wearing a do-rag, man?
Like, I ain't got no hair.
Yeah. You look funny. You look funny.
Because my nose is big, but I got distractions.
Well, it ain't about the nose.
I got a Polish nose, man.
You're supposed to have long, dirty hair.
Yeah, well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It looks like,
Big ups. Big ups to Long Dirty Hair. LongDirtyHair.com.
Thank you.
If it ain't been started yet, hopefully we can start it before this airs.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Well, just wrap your hair up.
And
if
the news comes to your job and you have long hair, you got to wear a hairnet.
Expect them to ask you to wear a hairnet. And maybe take a day off that day.
It's probably going to be the cheapest hairnet ever that wouldn't even hold one dread.
What's so funny is the only woman that works at the place couldn't figure out how to get hers on, and I got mine wrapped up like I'm in I'm in jail.
I like it. You had like the whole two part. You had like the hat that didn't fit, so you just kept it unstrapped.
My head is so big.
Hats have a strap, guys, and see, they had it all the way unstrapped.
It was ripped. I ripped the hat.
Yeah. Oh, okay, you ripped it. Yeah. Those were quite cheap.
I don't care. I mean, I had a big head. I wore like an 8.5 before I had dreads. Now I wear like big. Can't even imagine what I wear now.
I wear a 7 1/4.
I had no idea.
But check it. This dude had the hat and the hairnet.
Yeah.
The hat and the hairnet.
Yeah.
That should be like a sitcom on Nickelodeon or Nick at Night or something.
I was hoping it was going to be black, so I could like at least talk in a Spanish accent and be funny. But there was like
toss a taco and everything's great.
It was like a fishnet color, so all you could see.
It was horrible. I mean, you looked like a nurse in the maybe like the World War II.
I felt like I was serving soup. And I'm like yelling at kids to get back in line.
So in the video, there's obviously video of this, but I didn't see you peeking around any corners.
No,
I threw the soup or anything.
I got out of there. No.
So
so what else?
This week in history,
we got a lot of shit
hairnets.
Yeah, really. Back to hairnets.
And we're going to talk about this a year from now, like with this week 53 of the show, and C has not worn a hairnet yet.
Oh man,
what do we got? We got Pete Rose.
I mean,
right?
there's so much stuff.
Just talk about Pete Rose because this week in history, Pete Rose, what did he do? He broke
1985. Pete Rose passed Hank Aaron for the most hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of flack on both sides of this. Now, I obviously wasn't alive, but I have the man's card, and it's worth money. All right, it came with some bubble gum, which my dad kindly removed, just not to ruin the card. And that has nothing to do with the story, but it's. I think the man, he got hits, and his nickname was Charlie Hustle. The guy powerhoused everything.
He could play.
He could hit. He practiced all day. Now he's a coach. He broke the record, then he became some sort of coach, and he was betting on the game. Now he's not allowed to even think about baseball.
Banned for life, I think. Yes.
He's banned for life. Okay, so what he did as a coach should be a little sliver, to me, different than what he did as a player. He broke the record, and as a player, you have to respect it. You have to respect it. He didn't play dirty. People thought he played dirty. He played hard. He played hard. He wanted to win. He wanted to succeed. He wanted to be better. And I don't think what he did as a coach should affect it. I actually respect Pete Rose, and that's just for work ethic. Of course, when you're a 40-year-old man and you have a family, not justifying anything, but you make different decisions, and you now you're a manager of a ball club. But when you're trying to, and it's different now because guys get $10,000 in at bat. That guy wanted to be great just to be great. I'm sure. What did he make back then? I'm sure it was like probably $500 a week.
I really hope that not just in Major League Baseball, but the NFL and all the major franchises, not the franchises, but leagues out there, that
Right.
they take care of the previous generation players, because God knows the previous players built the NFL into what it is today.
I've heard they don't.
They really don't take care of their
Yeah, I've heard
players.
that
They don't have health. Some of them, they're fighting for
Exactly.
health insurance and stuff
they
like that.
can't get a job. They're working at Home Depot,
They're-
which is
you know,
nothing wrong with that.
Their bodies
but-
are broken.
Right.
You know, they've done mental damage to their brain. And the thing about it is, I'm not saying, oh, well, because us, being physical and played ball at one time, that's something that you know. It's, you sign up, you're part of that. You know it's a physical game. You know you're going to get hurt. It's not if you get hurt, it's when.
Right.
But you still need to look out for the people. Because like you said, in summation, the contracts were not, back in the day, were not what they were today. I
Well,
mean,
they
you're
definitely
making
played
millionaires
peanuts,
almost.
yeah.
I mean, LeBron James will eventually be a billionaire because of
and
athletics.
he already thinks he owns the league. So I mean, that's a whole different story. But with more respect to, there was an ex-ball player that played for the Yankees, Sonny Dixon. He worked at a BP around the corner from where I grew up.
Wow.
I mean, he played for like the 1956 Yanks. Definitely a part of their World Series. Definitely a part of their organization. At the end of it all, he's working at a gas station. And my dad's telling me, which is awesome for my dad to do this, but he introduces me, and that's what we get. It's nothing like millions of dollars for sure.
No. Well, we got time for one more. In 1896, this is a big one. Plessy versus Ferguson upholds separation of races with the separate but equal policy in the United States. And it wasn't overturned until 1954.
Go ahead and go into that.
So let me hit that again. So 1896, Plessy versus Ferguson. Okay, and that basically, there was something that came up to where a black male tried to purchase a train ticket, and he bought the train ticket and got on the whites-only car and was asked to go to the colored car. He refused, and this is the court case that came from this, Plessy versus Ferguson. And the ruling of the court was that the policy of separate but equal would be upheld. And this was not overturned until 1954 by the Brown versus Board of Education. So basically, until 1954, the races had to use separate facilities, bathrooms, water fountains, schools, all of that.
And it definitely probably didn't stop then, but 1954 was a big time frame. And this is actually a huge case. So
now where I'm going with this is obviously that's a significant point in human history. And obviously everyone knows that we are for equal rights of all people, of races, creeds, and all of that. The point I want to make here is I see a new trend coming, and I think the next form of racism like this will be the genetically engineered born and the naturally born.
Oh, that's some future shit.
That to me is going to be the next big thing that kind of occurs. Because,
would that be a mutant?
Well, not X-Men or anything comic book, but they're already doing small little things like this for where they're testing for Down syndrome. They're isolating,
autism,
genetic codes and stuff, and they're beginning to alter them in
right. I mean, well, several years ago, you could pick before your child was born. You could pick what race. I mean, not what race, but what gender they want. What you wanted. Do you want it to be a man? Do you want it to be a female? We can do this now.
Right. So if we're scratching the surface of being able to do those types of things, eventually, the deeper they get into cracking the genome, they'll eventually be able to do hair color, height,
Oh yeah, and I'm sure they're already able to. I mean,
now this is going to be an expensive thing. This isn't going to be.
On the street is they've already cured cancers and AIDS and all that shit.
The Magic Johnson thing. I mean, he had
kind of funny.
He had HIV, and now I think he doesn't have it anymore. I don't know what. I mean, I'm nothing against Magic Johnson. I think he's a nice guy, but I mean, if you have money, you can throw money at treatment, and then all of a sudden maybe. Because God knows if you're broke,
some sort of grand spokesperson.
Right. If you're broke and you're living in a project in Chicago, the chances of your survival is very, very low. If you're a millionaire, a CEO of a company, your chances of survival are pretty high because they're going to throw everything they have at keeping you around.
Hey, Electric Cord. You know I call you Electric Cord because you set my heart on fire, baby. Spark, spark, spark.
Ignore this message. Repeat, ignore this message.
You're listening to the BNC Show on the Great House Podcast.
I just, with this whole Obamacare thing to where you have to have something of insurance, I did sign up for it. Just because in the back of my head, I mean, we're 30, we're getting older. If something happens to me, I don't want to burden everybody else around me.
Are you going to go every year for a yearly checkup?
Well, that's the thing. I have not gone. I've been paying since January 1.
Right.
And
it's just
January, February,
just
March,
in case
April, May.
type of shit.
Yeah, I've been paying for 5 months.
That I don't mind.
But where I'm going with this is, so if everybody is required to have this, and obviously everyone has not signed up for it or have insurance, there's still millions of people, I'm sure, that do not have health insurance.
I am one.
So this will be a great experiment because we actually have you in-house to conduct this for us, is they can fine you. Right, but what if they don't? What if you don't pay the fine? Does it affect your credit? Does it go to a collector? Can they garnish your wages? Because this is a gray area.
This is a gray area, and it hadn't been defined by the government either, and that's why I kind of like. Listen, I think that health insurance is fantastic, and if your wages allow, grab it. But more importantly, I believe in just the human stance. And I don't believe that the government should tell you what to do. If you're just roaming the earth like I am, I mean, I'm an independent sovereign, so to speak, and we'll get into that more later. But if you're just roaming the earth, then I'm not listening to that type of stuff, man. Why, I understand why. If I show up at the hospital, they're like, $1,000 that you're not going to pay.
In Canada, it's free.
Right. I mean, that's a whole different thing, and people are scared of that, And
I mean, I don't.
It's all different types of government. Which the government we discussed last week is a corporation, man.
It's business.
It's a business with the world. Federal Reserve, bro.
They know they can make money.
It's a big deal, man. It's a big deal.
They're gonna make money when
$250,000 in like 4 hours they make at a court in a major city.
Oh yeah, just clean it up easy. All right, well, about running out of time. Week 2 is in the books. We've got a few guests on the horizon. Brian Jackson, writer. I love his insight on music and sports. He'll be joining us. It's Pablo, artist, producer, promoter. He'll be joining us. Any other guests that we've got already booked for next few shows?
We're going to have Jimmy Gibson on.
Jimmy Gibson. We talked about Jimmy Gibson. Miles Kelly.
It's going to be interesting what we're going to hear these next couple of weeks.
If you'd like to be a part of the BNC show, please get in contact with us via Facebook, SoundCloud, or YouTube. It's very easy to get a hold of us if you would like to. So,
and as always, just any type of emails or input.
BNC show.
Hit it.
See you next week.
Hit it.